Good morning, Lambton County Councillors, members of the public and media who are with us or online. I'd ask Mr. Beauchamp to take the roll call, please.
Thank you, Warden. Deputy Warden Agar. Councillor Atkinson. Councillor Bushi. Councillor Bradley.
Present.
Councillor Broad. Councillor Case. Councillor Cook. Councillor Dennis.
Present.
Councillor Ferguson. Councillor Hand. Councillor Loosley. Councillor McRoberts. Councillor Miller. Councillor Sageman. Councillor Bean. Councillor White. And Deputy Warden Marriott. Warden Marriott, sorry.
We acknowledge that this land on which we are gathered today is part of the ancestral land of the Chippewa, Odawa, and Potawatomi peoples, respectively referred to collectively as the Anishinaabe. It is through the connection of the Anishinaabe with the spirit of the land, water, and air that we recognize their unique cultures, traditions, and values. Together as treaty people, we have a shared responsibility to act with respect for the environment that sustains all life, protecting the future for those generations to come. I would ask any member of council to declare pecuniary interest now or any time during the meeting. Look for those now. Seeing none, I'd take a motion to go in camera for the reasons noted in the agenda. Please, Councillor Hand, Councillor Ferguson seconds, all in favor? That'd be carried. We'll meet in committee room 3. Thank you. I'd ask Mr. Beauchamp to rise and report from in camera, please.
Thank you, Warden Marriott. I can report that Lambton County Council met in camera this morning for about 18 minutes to discuss a few matters. First, to review the Lambton County Council closed session minutes dated July 2nd of 2025. Second, to receive a report regarding negotiations between the county and a third party relating to a property in the city of Sarnia. To receive a report regarding negotiations between the county and a third party relating to service expansion. To receive a report regarding the CAO's annual performance review. To receive a report seeking instructions from council regarding a conditional settlement on a collective agreement with Unifor 2003E. And finally, to receive a report and provide instructions relating to negotiations between the county and a third party regarding potential litigation affecting the county. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Beauchamp. Item number 8, presentations. We have one presentation this morning. Tom Strifler, the former Executive Director, Western Sarnia-Lambton Research Park, and Dr. Dave Muir, Associate Vice President, Innovation and Strategic Partnerships, Western Research of Western University, will be presenting to County Council on behalf of Dr. Catherine Albion. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you. Morning, Warden Marriott, County Councilors. Thank you for the opportunity to present along with Dave Muir. And as said, on behalf of Catherine Albion, we're updating you on the Elevating Success program at the Western Research Park. And I've got some very positive news that we'd like to take you through and some requests for county to consider. So if we could, just do a quick review of the Research Park's progress on elevating success. As you well know, significant progress has been made to date. New website, new marketing campaign, and some meaningful improvements in financial performance, which we'll see through this presentation. And collaborations have been strengthened with stakeholders and partners, and we have a strategic plan that includes financial modeling analysis and a focus on tenant attraction and retention that's drawing some success. I think this chart in front of you nicely projects where we've been as well as where we're at. So you can see post-pandemic, the decline in tenancy, which is our issue. And you can see in 25-26, the dramatic uptick, which really speaks to the work that's been done in elevating success and bringing some of those results. And we're pleased with the progress, but we're also pleased with the trend because it seems to be continuing through 2026. This graph is perhaps a little more detailed in terms of the ups and downs in terms of lost tenancy below the line and new tenants above, and you can see the dramatic upshift in 2025 with new tenants, 45,000 square feet leased. And that trend is continuing in 2026, and I'll speak to that, but directly a result from the focused effort that the park has given to this issue. A little bit of insight here on these graphs. If you look a little bit under the covers, the number of inquiries on the left continues to build. In 2026 fiscal year, 20 inquiries, 14 proposals developed, and 6 new leases, another 4,000 square feet added. And if you look at the trend that signifies, it's around 5 to 6% additional tenancy in the park per year, which is the track that we were wanting to be on, so pleased with that progress. And if you look to the center and right, we are attracting the types of tenants that we would like and in alignment with the CLCDC's mandate. So success on all those fronts. Look at our debt, which is one of our most significant issues. You can see our debt is no higher now than it was over the last 15 years. but it's still a heavy weight for the park to handle and puts us under great stress when our tenancies dip below 90%. And this is what we're looking to look for solutions to and look for help in solving this. And just to remind council of the value that the research park brings to the county and the region. This is an economic model put together by Stiletto, one of our key consultants. And the important part in this graph is the increase that we'll see as we execute our program and get the park back to 90% plus occupancy. You can see another 30% basically improvement in jobs, taxes, and GDP gain. And we're on track to do that. So since May 2024, a brief recap of the successes and milestones that the park has achieved. Approximately 20% of the total park area has been released. That's very significant. It's basically saying we're on track to back to our old levels of tenancy. We've had net 11 new companies attracted, including a Canadian-based global leader in biotechnology. We have 7 expansions of existing companies at the park, and about $750,000 in new lease revenue. So heading the right direction. All of this through our collaborations with our partners, our launch on the website, and our ad campaigns, which are attracting, and we're securing new companies that are aligned with the research park mandates. So working with Stiletto Consulting, they've identified a path to financial stability to help us with our debt loads. And certainly the debt load is a constraint on what the park can do in terms of executing our mandate and our strategic plan. They have clearly identified that a 5-year deferral of principal and interest payments for the park would provide an adequate runway for the CLCDC to execute its mandate. So continue to diversify sustainable revenue streams, rebuild the tenant base back to what it was before with mission-aligned companies, and create internal reserves, which gives the park more independence and ability to pursue infrastructure upgrades and attract even more new tenants. So to actually execute that, the recommendation is to refinance and consolidate the park's current debts. So the $14 million, $2 million, and $900,000 county loan into one loan with a longer term, lower principal and interest payments will certainly help. We know Larry's already working on that through the county. And asking for the CLCDC's inclusion in the county budget, a 5-year deferral of loan, principal, and interest payments for the park, which would resume in full in year 6, and continuation of the annual operating grant during that 5-year period. Implementation of these recommendations would allow the park to execute its full mandate, get it back to self-sufficiency with a bit of a kitty established as well to be more and more self-sufficient in executing its mandate. And with that, I'll turn it over to Dave to say a few words, his insights from the Western experience.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Warden Marriott, County Councillors. It is a pleasure and an honor to be here today in support of the CLCDC. At Western, I have involvement in our research parks where we promote a network of 3 research parks under one umbrella, including the Western Sarnia-Lambton Research Park. It's a pleasure to be on the board and to see the uptick in tenancy, the uptick in inquiries. We are seeing similar trends at the Western Discovery Park. We did have some significant lab space free up at the end of last year. And we are seeing similar trends to what the slide deck had showed today in terms of leasing inquiries, and particularly in office inquiries. So we're seeing very, very similar trends to what is shown in the deck. I do also want to make a comment. The Stiletto Consulting Group, we have positive experience working with that group as well. They specialize in science parks and research parks. They're very, very heavily involved in the Association of University Research Parks, and our Discovery Park used them for a similar marketing and a strategic plan as well to very positive effect. So it's good to see the impact that the marketing plan, the strategic plan is having on tenancy and on uptick in rental inquiries. So thank you.
Thank you. Open it up to questions. Councillor Ferguson.
Thank you, Warden. Thank you for the presentation. I do have several questions and observations. You have a consultant firm come in, and I think you paid $40,000, and they say, have somebody else pay for the costs. That's not how I do business with that. So long-term, we're looking at it, and you talk about you have the least amount of debt, only because we had to forgive, I think it was $4.8 million in 2019, 2020, brought you back down to that level. If we had forgiven that, you'd be current across the board with that amount of debt. At what time do we start to look at what is the property really worth on a resell to sell it, or can we sell parts of it? Because we're going to be caught here now, two council terms out before it goes back to the floor if we approve this. It's not just this council term. It'll be 2030, you do your 2 council terms out before you come back. So you're locking in one council and dumping the new part onto a brand new council. So my question is, really, what is the park worth as an asset? Should the county be looking at selling parts of it to recoup some of our money? Because I'm looking here now at a loss for at least the next 6 years, 5 to 6 years, with no money coming in. And should be looking at divesting the property. And can it operate on its own if part is divested for us to recoup some of our $16 to $20 million we owe and leave the core in place? Thank you.
Mr. Strifler or Dr. Muir?
Good questions and appreciate them. I think the perspective we would like the county to take is the overall net value that the park's bringing to the region. We understand that the present situation, there is a cost. We see a light towards the end of this execution where that cost is no longer a burden to the county, but the value will continue, and it's a significant value, both in employment as well as in GDP and taxes to the county. And I think if you keep that in mind, this is perhaps an investment that the county should consider having significant value for the region.
Councillor Case, please.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Warden. I know we're going to be looking at this at budget next time around, but just curious what this does if this ask was to be considered, what it would do potentially financially to the County of Lambton. I'd like to address that question through the Treasurer if he's prepared to answer that today. What kind of pressure it puts on us financially?
Thank you.
Thank you for the question. In the interest of all openness and transparency, when I first reviewed the recommendations and the deferral, basically our principal and interest payments are approximately $1.2 million a year right now. Given the increase in interest rates, the principal and interest payments on $16 million debt would be $1.4 million. If you do it for 5 years, it's $7 million just on the existing debt. There's also the $2 million line of credit that's out there that we've practically maxed out. So you're looking at your request over a 5-year period of a $9 million grant and loan, whatever you want to call it, if you can collect on the loan. But that's what you're looking at, and we can try to amortize the loan over a longer period. But a $1.4 million ask is equivalent to about a 1.4% increase in levy for 2026.
Any other questions for the presenters? Councillor Cook, please.
So just to continue the conversation, as a banker looking at this balance sheet, I guess I'd be the one that would say you're bankrupt, you're insolvent, you can't carry your debt load. But we're asking our taxpayers and our council to do this now. So I guess I'll struggle with it until we come to budget to discuss it again. But at this point, I can't see myself wanting to support 5 years of no payments and reconsideration of debt. So thank you.
Thank you. Any others? Councillor Ferguson.
Could we have a value come back before budget of what the property is worth? There has to be a resale value on it somewhere. Can I make a motion for that?
Sure. Do we have a seconder? Councillor Case seconds that. Discussion. Anybody want to tackle that? Mr. Pilarchio, would you have any comments on that, please?
Through the chair, certainly there's consultants and analysts that would do appropriate property valuation on the park, and I'm not sure of the timing, but I'm sure the board can take a look at that and see if they can report back.
Thank you. Any other discussion on the motion? Call the question. All in favor? Opposed, if any? That'd be carried. Thank you, Mr. Strifler and Dr. Muir, for your time today. Brings us to item number 9, minutes of open council of July the 2nd. Look for a motion to receive, to adopt the minutes. Councillor Miller and Councillor Bean, seconds. All in favor? That's carried. Item number 10, Board of Health. Dr. Dueck, please. (10A), Board of Health correspondence to receive and file. We have one correspondence here. Look for a motion to receive and file. Councillor Ferguson and Councillor Cook. All in favor? That's carried. And item 10B, we have 4 Board of Health information reports. Look for a motion to receive and file unless there's questions. Councillor Bean moves. Councillor Atkinson seconds. All in favor? That'd be carried. Thank you. Any other business for Board of Health today? Seeing none, they're letting you off the hook easy, Dr. Dueck. Number 11, correspondence. We have 2 correspondence to receive and file.
Warden Marion?
Go ahead, Councillor Dennis.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry, sir. I have a conflict with correspondence item B, please.
Okay, noted. So look for a motion to receive and file these 2 items. Councillor Miller moves, seconded by Councillor Ferguson. All in favor? That's carried. Item number 12, information reports. We have 3 information reports here to receive and file unless there's questions. Councillor Bushy moves. Have seconder by Deputy Warden Agar. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Item 13, items not requiring a motion. We have minutes from Tourism Sarnia-Lambton and Sarnia-Lambton Economic Partnership. Look for a motion to receive and file these. Councillor White, Councillor Loosely seconds. Question by Councillor Case.
Yes, just a question, Mr. Warden. Back when we did our last budget proceedings, we made a request to have the General Manager of Tourism Sarnia-Lambton visit each of the Lambton County municipalities To my knowledge, that has not happened. We're sitting at September now, and I guess maybe I'm asking maybe anybody on the board if this has been discussed, because it's important to connect with all those communities, and after all, we do fund that organization. So maybe somebody could answer that question, and maybe if that's still in the planning. I haven't seen anything, and to be honest with you, I think it needs to happen. It was a request made by us at that time, so maybe somebody can enlighten me with some information around that perhaps. Thank you.
Okay. Who would like to tackle that? Mr. Tifo, please.
Yes, thank you, Councillor Case, for the reminder, first and foremost. And again, that reminder will be communicated at the end of this meeting to TSL's leadership. But in terms of the discussions at the board, and again, in my capacity as CAO, I sit on that board ex officio. The governance steps that we've taken this year is twofold. One is to develop a board charter, which clearly identifies who does what and how and when, which addresses this. And then in support of that charter, developed a calendar of activities, and that calendar of activities includes specifically a discussion at the board and a plan approved by that board for engagement with all of TSL's partners. So those are the steps that have been taken. Now it's a matter of following up on the steps that should be taken on those initiatives.
Follow up, Councillor Case.
Well, the thing that concerns me, Mr. Warren, to be very honest with you, a directive was given. There was a request made to have the general manager visit the municipalities. And I know in the past there's been some other invitations by other municipalities to have him visit the municipalities. And I do see when it comes to tourism, we're seeing a split from the old county model, if I can put it that way, where municipalities are actually hiring people of their own to look after their tourism interests. So I just wonder, I guess maybe what I'm saying is it's so important for this individual to get out and actually have those discussions with everybody in the county that really, at the end of the day, funds this operation. So I am disappointed that those visits haven't taken place yet at this time. And I do see a fracture within tourism, Sarnia-Lambton, and some of the municipalities that it's supposed to serve. And I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Case. We'll follow up with that. So we have a motion on the floor to receive and file. All in favor? Oh, sorry, Councillor Loosely, you have a question.
Yeah, thank you, Ward Mayor. In regards to B, nothing urgent, but maybe next time I'd like to ask that they spell my name correctly, please.
Okay, duly noted. Call the question. All in favor to receive and file? Opposed, if any? That's carried. Item number 14, reports requiring a motion. AA, report regarding Kathleen Avenue development update. If there's no discussion, I'll look for a motion of the recommendation. Councillor Sageman moves, seconded by Councillor McRoberts. All in favor? Opposed, if any? That's carried. 14AB, report regarding housing funding allocation years 7, 8, and 9. Motion to approve the recommendation. Councillor Cook, seconded by Councillor Miller. All in favor? That's carried. And 14AC, report regarding homelessness prevention program investment plan. Motion to approve the recommendation. Councillor Veen. Second by Councillor Case. All in favor? That's carried. And 14B, Office of the CAO, report regarding Ontario Works Administrator appointment. Move to the recommendation. Councillor Sageman and Councillor Loosely seconds. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed, if any? That's carried. And we have item number 15, we have no committee of the whole minutes. And 16, we have no items tabled from previous meetings. So that brings us to item number 17, notice of motion. Councillor McRoberts.
Thank you, through the chair. I've been spoken to by our legal through the county. I am still going to put this motion forward. The human rights point of view that requesting no one that is currently addicted to drugs moving into one single build which I'm under the impression that Indwell will be building 3 facilities and allowing the 2 remaining facilities to have everyone an inclusive request for those that are trying to move in. But for this one spot, the George Street facility that potentially will be there, I requested no addicts be moved into that building, only because we do help support the River City Vineyard, in which there are all people in recovery and no current drugs being in that building. If we move a building in with addicts at this point 150 feet away, we're asking for the storm to happen. But it has been put to me that that is not a human rights to deny people to move into that building. But if we're allowing the other 2 to have them, I can't understand how that still is a conflict. But I still would like my motion to stay, because we want to support the 65 at River City Vineyard to stay clean and still allow others to have somewhere to live in the next 2 facilities, 2 or 3. So I would like to ask for a second on my motion.
Okay, do we have a seconder for the motion? Second time, seconder for the motion. Third and final, do we have a seconder? Seeing no seconder, the motion fails. Item number 18, other business. Any other business for today? Councillor Dennis.
Yeah, thank you, Warden Marriott. Over the break, when we weren't meeting, I noticed in the, I believe it was the Sarnia Observer, that they did a story about the affordable housing project that was being built on Maxwell. And they talked about, again, I understand we're going to be hit with some more delays there. Sir, that has been one heck of a boondoggle. And I can't help but think that, sir, that this would not happen in the private sector. You know, like, this is just an absolute disgrace. It's been a boondoggle right from the word go. And I don't know if if the taxpayer is going to have to bite the bullet for the overages, or this we all know that this should have been finished long ago. And it just seems, I realize that the contractors have been fired and all that kind of stuff, but I understand people will now be moved in. Is it the spring now or late fall, they're saying? But no one believes that, because of all the delays and all the this has just been one heck of a nightmare. And you know, like we got to get people housed. We're doing our job by building these places, but it is just an embarrassment, and no one has any confidence when this kind of stuff goes on. If this was the private sector, it would have been built by now. People would be living in there by now, and the cost would not be going so crazy. This is just ridiculous. It's unacceptable. If maybe someone can answer to what I'm saying.
Okay, Ms. Fitzpatrick, could you respond to that, please?
Through you, Warden, to Councillor Dennis. I mean, indeed, the Maxwell project has had some frustrations along the way, but we are happy to report it's nearing completion. We are expecting occupancy by late this fall, and we hope to have an open house hopefully announced soon. So although it has been a frustrating experience, we're happy to report that occupancy is imminent before the end of the year.
And Mr. Tifo.
Yes, thank you. In terms of the question about the project and project management, because I believe that's the tone of the question. Indeed, we entered into standard construction agreement with the counterparty. We enforced our rights under that agreement. There were breaches on the other side. We acted upon those breaches, as was reported, secured some bond payments on those breaches, and essentially revived the project with an alternative supplier and general contractor. Moreover, in terms of the counterparty, the original counterparty, if you read the national papers, the Globe and Mail, there are many other outfits, many other municipalities that were caught in the same situation with same type of delays. with respect to this counterparty, this original contractor. So the county was not is not in a unique situation here. I would dare to say that there are at least 2 other projects in the province of Ontario, similar projects that unfortunately underwent delays. We were frustrated as well. We get the frustration out there. We would have liked it to be a lot more linear, more direct, so that we can have those units available to members of the public who require them much earlier. But unfortunately, it happens in the commercial context, private sector, public sector, that there are issues, and those issues were addressed promptly in accordance with our contractual agreements and in accordance with the processes that are required to be followed. And it ends up with a project that, as Ms. Fitzpatrick noted, will be open for occupancy this fall. We acknowledge it's been a long road, but it's not a long road that was caused by any action where we needed to take action. We took it swiftly to ensure that that project was completed.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any other business? Seeing none, move to item number 19, notice of bylaws. Mr. Beauchamp, please.
Thank you, Warden Marriott. It is moved by Councillor Cook and seconded by Councillor Case that bylaw number 20 of 2025 as circulated be taken as being read a first and second time.
All in favor? That's carried.
It is moved by Councillor Case and seconded by Councillor Cook that bylaw number 20 of 2025 as circulated be taken as being read a third and final time.
All in favor? That's carried as well. Thank you. That brings us to item number 20, adjournment. The next County Council meeting will be Wednesday, October the 1st, 2025, with in-camera session to be commence at 9 a.m. I'd look for a motion to adjourn, please. Councillor Loosely and Councillor Sageman, all in favor? Carried. Please join me in O Canada.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
I remind everybody of the invitation for the council luncheon at St. Clair today after starting social hour at 11:30.